And that process of me being like, what is this? What if I had a magic wand and could create a walk utopia? What would be in my walk utopia? I had to really sit down and be like, when the walk is at its best, what is it? Who is there? What are we doing? What's our intention? So I created the format out of this moment, out of this severe awkwardness that I didn't see coming. And then from there, I almost got addicted to refining it and to being like, okay, I created something. Now we're in a stage where it's like more people are coming. The magic and intention and energy needs to be protected. And I have to prevent this awkward, what do we do? Oh, when somebody comes and does this, if they come and they try to sell something, if they come and they try to speed date, if they come and they're trying to monologue to somebody about their bad dating experiences, what do you do? And so from that moment forward, I was like, I will never be caught like this again. I will have a playbook for exactly what needs to happen when this stuff happens. So that
Now,
walk 20 was when it became very intentional for me.
now, at the same time that you have the clear boundary line that was obvious to you on what you like, this has gone too far. And you said you envisioned your walk utopia and how you want to frame that.
Yeah.
Everybody does, though, come with a different intention. And I don't mean intention in a bad way, I mean intention in a good way. I want to get different things from this walk. And I think it's a kind of a good moment to kind of, the way I kind of came about with this kind of how it came across my radar, right? I actually, we first met at the walk of the, I think it was last week.
Hmm.
So that was kind of my first walk. But it had actually, I don't know why, but it come across Twitter before, and it was just not something that was interesting to me. It did not seem that it was appealing to what I was looking for in networking and the like. Like it didn't seem to hit the vibe that was from that what I was looking for.
Hmm.
And then and to be honest, the funny part was, and this is what it is at least when I looked at the pictures and at least in things, a lot of it came from the time perspective. I think the
Yeah.
difference between you and myself is like, I have small kids and Saturday morning, and the idea of is like, that's a big lift to ask me to be like, okay, I'm going to leave everybody, go do something for 2 hours on a Saturday morning
Yeah.
early. And so that was, that was that. And what kind of came around in one of these aspects was when the beginning of the Forbes 30 under 30 for Austin came, the author actually tweeted at a whole lot of different people, myself included. It was like, hey, if you know anybody interesting that would be that for nominations that you should go, nominate who fits this criteria. And I kind of laughed, in later conversations. I'm like, I don't know anybody under 30. Like just like generally speaking, I mean, I'm sure I do, but like that was just kind of like the first. I was like, I don't know a lot of people in that, just because of place of life and those kinds of things. And so it was kind of funny that after the list came out and trying to find different angles of networking, and saw that you had made the list and this had done, and there were some scheduling things that made it slightly easier in terms of like children activities. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, why don't I actually go and try this and see what ends up happening? And that was one of the things that was really interesting from my perspective. And getting back to the intentions, my intention here was actually to one, see it from a different perspective and see, was like, okay, I'm actually trying to, in theory, meet a crowd that's very different than the group that I normally meet, even though did meet people who knew people that I knew, so it wasn't as far away from the groups that you would expect. And so when you think about that intentionality, and as people come in, how do you think about the ground rules and the box that you want to put around it without
Yeah.
smothering people's creativity and interest that they want to do?
Yes. That thank you for sharing. It's really good to know that the time and day was a barrier because it's designed to be one actually, and not to keep anyone out or to keep you out or to keep parents with small kids out. Some of my favorite people who come are parents and they bring their babies and we have babies in harnesses and strollers and I'm trying to figure out how to be inclusive to like the 5 through 10-year-old group
Which
because
you've
their legs,
described all of my children.
yeah, exactly, because their legs aren't quite long enough to make it, comfortably. So I'm really thinking through that one. But long story short, love including parents and being all inclusive. And that's actually part of the walk's magic is that it's open to everyone as long as you consider yourself curious, kind, and open minded. And that is in the ground rules and something that I actively enforce. And you might ask, how do you enforce on values? But it's really on the behaviors that create those values. So, how do you enforce on making sure that everybody's curious? This actually comes very cleanly with the intention, which is to have energizing conversations across all topics. So, that intention, which is super critical, is stated at the event itself in my ground rules speech, as you know, but then also online in the actual event sign up. It's said plain black and white, please reflect and bring a topic to discuss, which can be anything. And you don't have to be an expert in it. And you can just be absolutely curious about it. It could be something you saw on Twitter that you really want to learn more about, because the magic here is that we're bringing together people of all different backgrounds. And we've had actors, professors, we've had athletes, we've had tech folks, venture capitalists. I mean, you name it. The gamut of backgrounds on this walk of all ages. Our youngest being six months old, and our oldest person being over 70, come to the walks. And that's the magic of it. Is that a lot of the time, this group of 50 or more people may hold the keys to something that you didn't even know you were looking for, and what you're creating in this environment bound by that very strong intention of conversation and intentional conversation is, here are people, curious, kind, open minded, who are down to walk and chat. That is what we're here to do. If you're not somebody who would enjoy that, you probably won't like the walks, and you probably should not come. And coming to the walk at Saturday 8 in the morning is also a detractor there. But if you are someone who fits all of those parameters, loves to walk and talk, and is willing and able to wake up that early, this is the space for you.